Well, let's move on now and tell you that meanwhile, South African ambassador to Turkey, Depor Letsatsi, says there are 7 South African nationals who are still trapped inside a collapsed prison in Turkey. The ambassador said a team is not aware of the extent of damage or how many South Africans have made it out alive. Over 4,000 people have since died following the 7.8 magnitude earthquake that ripped through Turkey and Syria on Monday. Meanwhile, President Ramaphosa has, on behalf of the government and people of South Africa, expressed his deep sadness at the large scale of loss, especially loss of lives and extent of injuries inflicted by the earthquake that has affected the nations of Turkey and Syria. The president also expressed his appreciation to the South African humanitarian aid organization Gift of the Givers, which is joining the international response in Turkey and Syria. Turkey has declared 7 days of mourning. Well, joining us now is a Turkish journalist based in South Africa, Turkmen Terzi, joins me now. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much.
All right, first of all, I'd like to extend our condolences from us here at News Central. But we do understand that your home is very close to where the earthquake happened, and I'm positive by now that you have checked on your family members. What can you tell us?
Yes, actually, the first earthquake happened before 5 a.m. I got a call from South African Turkish friends here. They said the earthquake happened. Actually, the Kahramanmaraş, the epicenter of the earthquake, is my hometown. After that, I started to communicate with my people, my family members. Then the second earthquake hit 1:30, hit the Elbistan district. Actually is my district. I was born there, just next 20 kilometers away from city center, from district center. So many of my family members, they took refuge in like farmhouse. They spent night in the car, and it's a freezing cold. This is a mountainous area. So if you see the media, they visited the Adana. They are in Adana city. They are in Hatay. Access is easy to these cities, but the epicenter is my city is a mountainous area, and roads were all collapsed. And only the rescue teams start reaching after 24 hours. So also some of my family members, far relatives also, I heard that they are missing now. I don't know whereabout they are alive or not. This is a very big disaster. President said since 1939 earthquake. And I myself experienced 1999 earthquake in Ankara. I was in Ankara. We lost almost 20,000 official number, but real number was much higher. And I went there as a volunteer. So I can imagine how people are suffering in Turkey right now, because this is similar to that 1999 earthquake. But it was in the summer, so this is in the winter. Winter is much more difficult situation, and my town is completely destroyed. Almost no building is standing, or if stand is like crack, and you can't stay there. So this is the situation right now.
Well, Turkmen, this must be a really tough situation for you, especially saying that some of your relatives have not been communicated with or have not been found yet. I mean, we do hope and put them in prayers as well that they will be found anytime soon. You did take us back to how you were also a volunteer in 1999. I mean, this is not the first earthquake, like we have rightly said and you have rightly put, since 1999. The earthquake that killed almost 20,000 people, like you've rightly put as well. When you spoke with your family, let's find out, were you able to find out how devastating the situation really is compared to what happened in 1999?
Yes, first of all, I can tell you, the government now says 11,000 people are volunteers. They are in East Istanbul, and Turkish Airlines are carrying them to the earthquake disaster area. That is same thing happened in 1999. This shows government is not taking a lesson from the situation, from these calamities. So these volunteers, this is our culture, in Turkish culture, we like to help. But these people are not trained people, and they don't have any resources, anything. So we have offered the risk and disaster management. They are causing another disasters. When I took in 1999, after 24, 48 hours, I moved from Ankara in a truck driver and me only. So we were carrying full of the medicine and the items, and everyone was leaving the city, evacuating city, and we were moving into the city. And the road was very dangerous, so we moved. We looked for almost 10, 16 hours to offload to the truck, like to give all these items to who. So it was not, there was no proper organization. The same thing is happening. And Turkish government, Turkish communication directorate now, can you imagine? Now they were busy with the apps. It means disinformation reporting apps. It means whoever like sharing the photo and sharing posts on social media, they were not receiving from her. So the government is going and targeting them. So this is another situation, and lots of unlicensed buildings. After 1999, this government came to power because of that huge destruction as a whole. 2002, it is now 20 years, more than 20 years. They didn't take any lesson, and the lots of illegal constructions. Why we have lost so high buildings in this Turkey is highly, the dangerous is an earthquake zone, risk zone. So why you allowing so high buildings in Turkey? So I can say lots of things, but devastation is huge. And how I was traumatized in 1999, even though I was not in the epicenter, but I was still traumatized. And now I talk to my people, they really traumatized and they lost everything, and it's a freezing cold situation. It's terrible now.
Quite sad. I mean, we share your pain, even though we can only imagine from what we see, and we can only start to imagine what you will be going through at this point. But let me ask you one last time. You did mention that the government has a lot of work to do 24 years after, and infrastructure buildings are still higher, and they haven't learned anything from what happened in 1999. What kind of help do you think Turkey and Syria need right now as we speak?
Yes, right now they need rescue operation, search and rescue teams. They need from assistance from whole world. Because as I told you, Turkey show because this is just elections on May, so they are also considering election. So they don't want to show the real disaster. So international community should immediately send help to Turkey, research and rescue team. And then foods and then medicals, basic search dogs, medical items, food items, blankets, is whatever, they need everything. So it's a freezing cold. There is no electricity there now. You can't supply electricity. There is no natural gas because they are warming. They're using natural gas in their homes. So no natural gas, no water. Basically, they need everything. I see the social media posts from my town. They said we never received anyone, no from government, no volunteers, no one and no one. So they were their own, they only help each other, trying to help each other. So basically, they need everything now, and in a very fast. And Syrian, you mentioned about Syria, it's very interesting. The earthquake hit Syrian part is under Turkish control. Because you remember Turkey is doing operation into Syria since 2016. So these 4 million people are there, mostly displaced migrants. And 4 million in our towns, Gaziantep, my family, some family there. Then Maraş, Diyarbakır, Urfa, Adana, so all the Syrian refugees mainly living in these cities, their situation are worse than our situation. Many rebel groups, many armed groups fighting with each other and controlling this region. Afrin, Idlib, all of these things. So many civilians are there, millions of millions. So world should give more attention to Syria and Turkey and should help these people.
All right. Well, Tokben Tuzi, our heart surely goes out to you, the people of Turkey and Syria during this tumultuous time. Thank you so much for talking to us, by the way.
Thank you.